Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. What a great Friday it is. A lot going on. It's a festive holiday. It's spring. There's a lot of religious holidays. We'll talk about that. I am enjoying an ice cold Zevia. Actually, I wouldn't say it's ice cold. Not cold enough to hurt your teeth or anything like that. It is just refrigerated. It's cool. But I do enjoy Zevia. I will never be able to thank my brother-in-law Josh enough for turning me on to this stuff. It's great. There are zero calories. It's got no sugar, no artificial sweeteners. It's great, and there's no dye or anything. This is the ginger root beer, which is my favorite flavor. And if you pour it out, it's clear. It looks like club soda. Same thing. They have a cola equivalent, which is, and it's not too sweet. It's very mildly flavored. That if you pour it out, it's clear. There's no dye, so it's much healthier than soda. It's really, it's like it's a basically a sparkling water. So it's really, I can't say enough about it. I was just about to, I was just about to order some, and I see I got paid today. So obviously my priorities are in order. After I paid some of our bills, I wanted to make sure I restocked on Zevia because honestly, I'm on the wagon for Lent, not drinking alcohol and not really eating or doing anything like that. So Zevia is one of my treats. So, but I'm trying to limit myself to one a day. Every once in a while, I will have two because I don't want to use them all up. I could drink 5 or 6 of these a day. So, but still not drinking or anything, I could use a restock. So let me go on Amazon. Let me see what all the fuss is about. I know more and more people are ordering from Amazon, and it's starting to look like it may have a future. So I don't know if this is expensive, but look at this: 12 ounce cans, a pack of 24. It's $46. Now, I'm not sure how much stuff is supposed to cost because I have no idea how much anything costs. But is that a lot? $46 for 24 cans of Zevia? Is that a lot? I mean, it's almost $2, almost $2 a can, which I feel like is a lot for a 24 pack of Zevia. All right, I want to thank the one person that is watching. Thank you to that one person. Please share this. Please like and comment. I can't figure out the algorithms that companies like Facebook use. Oh, we got one person on Instagram as well, which is not reflected. I can never figure out the algorithms that entities like Facebook use in determining why certain videos pop up in their feed. I mean, maybe they thought because I was holding Zevia that it was an advertisement or something. Thank you, Janet Magnuson. And thank you, by the way, for having that lawn sign on your house. It makes me smile every time I drive by. But they're not an advertiser. Zevia should be advertising. If anybody wants to tag Zevia in any of the comments, please encourage them that they should be advertising not only on the radio, but I don't know if it's possible to sponsor these Facebook broadcasts because I am the world's biggest Zevia advocate. So that's it. All right. Grace says she's watching. Janet says she's watching. Great. So we got 4 people. So if for the 4 of you that are watching, if you would be so good as to like, comment, and share. Oh, you guys clearly listened because we're up to 7. So, it's funny. Ulysses S. Grant, as you know, most of you may know, was a cigar smoker. Let me see. So do I have any? Okay, let's see. Well, there you go. Ulysses S. Grant was a cigar smoker. Do I have a cigar here anywhere? No. Anyway, so Grant was obviously, after the Civil War, the biggest celebrity in the United States, maybe even the biggest celebrity in the world. That's one of the reasons he was able to get elected president a few years later. And as the story goes, and who knows, the story may be apocryphal, but as the story goes, this guy, General Grant, did one of the few. I don't know if he ever got his 5th star. Did he get his 5th star? I'm drawing a blank here. So far, everything that I know about is limited to knowledge of the 51st Council District. You ever see that episode of Married with Children where Kelly Bundy has to sacrifice facts for every time she learns something new, she loses information about something else, and she's training for some sports trivia competition, and she loses all this information that she had about everything else. That's the way I feel. Stuff that I used to know backwards and forwards, I don't know. So I don't remember if Congress gave General Grant his 5th star, but if they didn't, they should. So anyway, General Grant, biggest celebrity in the world after the Civil War. And as the story goes, he was doing a magazine interview or a newspaper interview, and he was smoking a cigar, and he mentioned how he enjoys smoking cigars. Now, because he was so popular at the time, people from all over the country sent him cigars, more cigars than he could ever smoke in a lifetime. So he went from being a regular cigar smoker to an incredibly heavy cigar smoker. He would have a cigar in his mouth, smoking it all day long because he had this big stack of cigars that he had to work his way through. So ultimately, what happens when you smoke that many cigars? Dies of throat cancer at a relatively young age. Now, I am sure we're going to hear about some side effect of Zevia because it's just such an incredible product down the line. But if anyone views me with the same esteem as General Grant, if you are looking for ever a nice birthday gift or a Christmas gift or a just because we love you, Frank gift, this 24-pack of ginger root beer Zevia, not the worst gift for the Frankster. Hey, thank you. Hi, Susan. She says hi, and I'll say hi back to you. All right, I thought we had a really interesting show this morning. If you didn't get to hear it, if you were not up from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m., catch the podcast. Go to redappleaudionetworks.com/Frank. That's redapplepodcastnetworks.com/Frank. And you could hear the show. What do we have on this one? Oh, really interesting discussions. We had on, we Ask Frank Anything. It was incredibly creative questions coming, especially from the St. Louis area. By the way, the 10 of you that are watching this on the Facebook, please be so good as to like, comment, and share. Robert Finero from The Sopranos, my man, on Instagram checking in saying vote for Frank. So thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. And you're a celebrity, so your endorsement means a great deal. Because if there's one thing that we know, it's that celebrities are better than regular people. Robert Finero, of course, played Eugene Pontecorvo in The Sopranos. He's also in The Irishman. Also, what might be his biggest celebrity turn might be the doorman at Caroline's Comedy Club. Imagine that, going from the doorman at Caroline's Comedy Club to going on The Sopranos. Interesting. Richard Luthman asks, how's the campaign trail? You losing any weight? Richard, first of all, I appreciate you asking this because you're one of the unsavory connections that I've had over the years that people are always trying to jam me up with. And so the fact that you're asking shows that we haven't been in contact. So goes to show that I'm on the level with everybody that I tell I haven't spoken to Richard Luthman. I have lost some weight, but I'm also not drinking and not eating. So walking every day, stressing out because there's a different crisis every day, and drinking. Yeah, I've lost some weight, and I'm hoping not to put it all on in one day after April 29th. But I think the campaign is going well. I'll give an update on that shortly. But listen to the podcast, redappleaudionetworks.com/Frank. Even Michael Hartman seems to think I'm looking good, or as they call him in the radio business, Michael Hartman. Hey, speaking of the radio business, and I won't make this a big thing. One entity that is an advertiser, so I may mention this, and they may all of a sudden stop, letting this come up in people's feed. If you're a fan of mine, especially if you live in the New York area and you used to hear me on the radio, you got to get one of these. This is phenomenal. These guys are sponsors. It's the C. Crane CC Wi-Fi 3 internet radio. If you can't get good radio reception in your home, or you live in a market where they're not carrying my show, like these bastards in Baltimore that took me off WCBM, and we developed such a following on WCBM, and they took me off. Obviously, I'm temporarily off WABC because I'm running for city council. But if any of that applies to you, boom, CC Wi-Fi 3. You can connect this to the internet, and boom, you're ready to tune into over 25,000 radio stations worldwide, including stations carrying my show no static, no fade. And it's voice focused audio, and it surpasses any smartphone on the market. There's no need to sign into any apps, no need to worry about any additional monthly fees, no eavesdropping microphones or pop-up ads. If you listen to me on your phone and you mention the pocket watch, all of a sudden you start seeing ads for pocket watches. Why? Because your phone is spying on you. And it's funny, just to go to show you, I just put on this jacket, and I mentioned gum. Specifically, I mentioned Orbit's gum to my wife earlier, and I had my phone on me when I mentioned Orbit's gum. When I put this jacket on, what did I find? Orbit gum. How does that happen? Okay. How does that happen? I mentioned Orbit gum, and then I put a sports jacket on, and all of a sudden, Orbit gum. Come on. I rest my case. So that's that. Yeah, Michael says he enjoyed the listener from KMOX. He says you hit that interview out of the park. Yeah, he never got back to us with his musical selections, John in St. Louis. So hopefully he heard that we made him listener of the week. All right. So get this C Crane radio. It's really a wonderful radio. It comes with a full-size remote control, as you see in the picture. I don't want to take it out because then I got to figure out where to put it. And if I put it in the wrong room, my wife yells at me. And you finding what you want to listen to while relaxing has never been simpler. So it even doubles as a Bluetooth speaker. So if you have a music playlist or something, you could just hook it up to that and boom. So if you want to order this, the CC Radio 3, and I want to support them because they support me. They've been advertising on our show, and they're great guys. They sent me the nicest letter, and they're on my list of people to get back to today. Look, they sent me the nicest letter when they sent me this radio, they said, we're excited about working with you and your team. And Jessica, who I met at Talkers, wanted me to express congratulations on your bid to run for city council. Now, that's so nice. These guys are based in California. What do they know from New York City Council? And they went out of their way, listening to what I'm saying, and they went out of their way to send a nice note like that. So I am the world. I was already such a huge CC radio fan. For instance, look, this is the radio that I keep in my office. I love this radio. I listen to it every day. This is the CC Radio 2E. It's a regular radio. If you look in other rooms in the house, same deal. If you want to know what's in our window right now, it's a solar radio that's charging. Because, well, it's not that sunny out today, but it's a CC radio solar radio. So I love this company. I already loved it. And now that they're such a supportive advertiser, even when we're not being heard in New York, it makes me love them as a company even more. So it doubles as a Bluetooth speaker, and it's just a wonderful thing. So if you want to order this CC Radio 3, you can call 800-522 8863 or visit ccrane.com/Frank. Hey, by the way, maybe I'll put this in the comments here. That's ccrane.com/Frank. And if you use the code Frank at checkout, you save 10%. So, boom. Yeah, there you go. I just put it in the comments. So, Leanne Colacurdo checking in. Leanne, 1, thank you for coming to my fundraiser this week. 2, thank you for making calls on my behalf last night. Thank you to everybody that made calls on my behalf. I don't want to say how many people made phone calls or how many phone calls they made, because that's the thing in politics is you don't want to tip your hand to your opponents, because let's say we had 50 people making phone calls last night, then they would hire 51 to make sure they were just doing one better than us. But I will say we had a very impressive turnout last night in terms of people making calls. And we made a lot of calls and got a lot of new ID'd voters. And that's going to win us the election. For people that don't know, I am running for New York City Council, working very hard. The election is in 18 days. 18 days. And early voting starts 10 days from today. So this is the home stretch. If you want to help us out with a donation or if you want to help us out with volunteering, or if you want to help us out by putting a lawn sign on your lawn, go to my website right now, moranoforcouncil.com. That's MORANO for council.com. And you can try to, you can do any of those things. You can donate, you can try to get a lawn sign, you can do whatever else. It's funny. I'm letting you on some real inside baseball stuff here. And I shouldn't say this. And if my team is watching, stop watching because you're going to hate that I'm being so open with everybody. We're doing this big fundraiser at Trump Tower on April 24th, and we got some great folks that are coming. Sid Rosenberg, Joe Piscopo, former Councilman Borelli, Councilmember Carr, Councilmember Vernikov, Andrew Giuliani, Scott Lebedo. They're all going to be there. But I want to make this really special. So I asked Rudy Giuliani to come, who's been a huge supporter and just a great guy. And he wants to come. But we have to arrange transportation because he's got something in another state the day before. So I have to pay for transportation. So I will tell you what, for anyone that donates today at moranoforcouncil.com, that will be earmarked to paying for Mayor Giuliani's transportation to the Trump Tower event. Now, if you're not coming to the Trump Tower event, I don't know that it does much for you, but know that it would help me out. So you can if you're a New York City resident, donations up to $175 are matchable. If you're not a New York City resident, you could still donate, but it's just not matchable 8-1. So there's that. So yeah, thank you to everybody that made calls on my behalf last night, and a huge thank you to everybody that came to the Tottenville Civic Association and everybody that came out to the meeting at Ariana's. Probably about 150 people came out. I had actually thought it was going to be a much larger crowd. This is all about stopping the transient hotel project. So if you don't know about this, or if you weren't at the meeting last night, you may have heard about this plan to build a so-called transient hotel at 4932 Arthur Kill Road. So let's be clear. I don't accept the idea that this is a done deal. You had some grandstanding politicians, I won't mention them, who were doing a victory lap a week or two ago. I expected George Bush to come out with the mission accomplished banner behind him. And shockingly, a lot of people didn't show up to this thing last night because I think they believed what some grandstanding politicians were saying, that, oh, no homeless shelter. Okay. I don't accept the idea that this is a done deal, no matter what these grandstanding politicians say. This is not over, and I'm not backing down. And as a candidate for city council and a community board member, longtime community activist, I've already taken real steps to fight this. And if I'm elected, one of the first things I'll do, it's not going to be my first piece of legislation. My first piece of legislation is going to be making sure that the battery energy storage facilities are only zoned in industrial areas. But right after that, the next thing I'll do after that is to introduce a package of legislation to make sure this project doesn't happen and projects like it will never happen. So what does that mean? Because I think if I'm asking for your vote, you have the right to ask me what I'm actually going to do in this respect. So I'll introduce a bill to exempt Staten Island from the City of Yes zoning rules, which are being used to force high-density projects into low-density neighborhoods. There's some debate whether this would qualify for City of Yes, but whether this does or not, I'm hearing some very troubling things, rumors about other potential developments that are equally disturbing that might be coming to our district. Then I'm going to push legislation, because this is, remember, a hotel. I'm going to push legislation to require a market study before any new hotel is built outside of Manhattan. Because if there's no market for a hotel, you know what it's going to become, a shelter. I'll also try to ban permits for any transient hotel that's clearly designed to be converted into a shelter. I'll introduce legislation that blocks developers with major tax debt, as this developer at 4932 Arthur Kill Road has. I'm going to introduce legislation that blocks developers that have major tax debt or violations from doing business in our neighborhoods, especially when the community board is against it, which community board 3 absolutely is. And the number of council members, Democrats and Republicans, have pushed legislation for a moratorium on new homeless shelters, and I would absolutely agree with that. That is something that absolutely needs to happen pronto, as far as I'm concerned. In terms of what I'm already doing, and by the way, I want to thank all of the candidates that came to the meeting last night. You had myself, Griffin Fasella, and Cliff Hagan. We were all there. We were all running in the special election. And this is an issue where I don't think there's any daylight at all on. I think we're all on exactly the same page, and we all want to, make sure that we do the right thing in terms of not seeing a homeless shelter in a residential community. And John Butehorn, who has who's filed to run in the Republican primary in June. He's not running in the special election. He was there as well. So in terms of stuff that I'm already doing, I spoke at this town hall meeting last night where I shared some of what we're talking about here, and I'm going to continue to speak out everywhere on this front. But I think that, but yeah, there's a little bit of me speaking at this town hall meeting last night, and I think the reception was pretty good. I think people were happy that I was there. Yet Jim Pastilli, the head of the Civic Association, seemed to think that I was politicizing the event. But I said to the crowd, I said, you have an obligation to know where all of us are, because this is not the most important issue in 18 days. It's the only issue. If this goes through, it's the destruction of all our neighborhoods. And then I asked what I thought were very good questions, and they were not answered by some of the public officials that were there last night. So that's that. So in terms of what I've already done as a citizen, I'm speaking out at the town hall. I have filed FOIL requests with the Department of Homeless Services and the Department of Social Services to expose what really happened here and what communications have already taken place between the developer and the city of New York. I've worked with civic groups and the media to keep the pressure on. I did a press conference with Curtis Lewa on this front to make sure that, one, we're not going to take anybody's word for this. We're going to make sure that this doesn't happen, because this is disastrous. This is disastrous. So we've done 2 press conferences there. I did one with Assemblyman Mike Riley and Scott Lebedo, and then I did another one just last week with Curtis while some of these other politicians were taking a victory lap. So that's part of what I'm doing already. So we have to stay vigilant. We can't be lulled into false hope, and we can't let City Hall steamroll our community. So to my opponents in this race, I know some of you genuinely care about this issue, and I'm asking you to join me and publicly pledge, if you win this election or the June election or the November election, to introduce the same legislation that I'm introducing if you win. Because this isn't about politics. It's about protecting Staten Island, and we need to fight this together as far as I'm concerned. So that's that. Thank you to everybody that came out on this. Hey, I also am very happy with some of the things that that are happening in Washington. I don't want to make this too national in focus because I'm running in a local city council race, but I am happy that the president is meeting tomorrow. He and his team are meeting tomorrow with Iran. And I think this is a deal that may actually succeed. The president's a very skilled negotiator. I think you see that with some of what we're watching on the trade front. And I think you've seen this with some of the other deals that he's made, both on the domestic policy and foreign policy. And I think Trump's Iran diplomacy may actually work. Trita Parsi has a very interesting piece in Time magazine saying that, and I do recommend that you check it out, that this is actually a deal that could work and have a potential, much broader potential upside than what we saw with the Obama Iran deal. And Trita Parsi, I don't think is a conservative, but he may be. I don't know. He's just not excessively ideological one way or another. But he writes for the Quincy Institute, and he points out that you have these top diplomats from the U.S. and Iran that are going to meet tomorrow in Oman, and this could be a significant win for President Trump and one that eluded Biden. So, I think the atmosphere, as he points out, is ripe for previously for escalation, not diplomacy. But Trump's all-purpose envoy, Steve Witkoff, who I think is doing an amazing job, he's going to be joined by Iran's top diplomat to explore the parameters of this potential negotiation. So whether the talks are indirect, as the Iranians insist, or direct, as President Trump claims, it's beside the point. What matters is they're talking. So, and as Parsi points out, there are a lot of factors which suggest that Trump's approach could succeed. Both sides have strong incentives to make a deal here. Now, not everybody agrees. I had Jeffrey Lichtman on the radio this week, and he was not at all in favor of President Trump having these conversations with Iran. But I think the summit with North Korea during his first term actually worked pretty well. So I'm hopeful that this could deliver similar results. So there's that. All right, 646-720-0635. Patrizia, I thought I was on the radio just now. Did I just give the phone number? Boy, I need more sleep. All right, Patrizia asked, how big is the radio? It's about this big. It's smaller than a bread box. Smaller than a bread box. So it's about that big. Leanne says, that's why we all need to get out and vote for me. I agree. A bright woman, that Leanne. Just a great person overall. I could go. Don't let me get started. I won't stop if I start praising Leanne Colicurto. What else? So I'm hopeful that these talks work. Hey, I want to wish everybody who's celebrating a happy Passover. I did not get invited to any Passover Seders this year. It's just as well. I have a lot going on, but I am quite fond of a lot of the Passover food. And those of you that are celebrating Palm Sunday this Sunday, I wish you the best. I hope you have a great Palm Sunday as well. Great day for pasta con sarda and a number of other traditional dishes. We're going to be going to my mom's. We'll be at church in the morning. I think they're doing an Easter egg hunt there. And then Sunday afternoon, pick up this thing that I dropped. Sorry. Sunday afternoon, we're going to be at this Easter egg event in Annandale. I'll be there with Carmine, and that should be a lot of fun. I'm trying to figure out, because we don't want to let the whole weekend go by without being able to campaign. And plus, we have a lot of volunteers situated for Saturday, but it may rain a good portion of the day. So, and then we have a couple of volunteers willing to help us out on Sunday, and we're trying to figure out how best to deploy them. And if it's disrespectful to have people campaigning on Palm Sunday and on Passover weekend, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out here. So, let me know your thoughts. I think if they go to a supermarket, it's okay. Maybe door to door is a little obtrusive. So I'm not sure which supermarket I'm going to be at tomorrow, but I'll be at a supermarket or somewhere. So that'll be interesting. Hopefully I'll see some of you. Be sure if you see me to come over and say hello. But regardless, please go to our website and make a campaign contribution, moranoforcouncil.com. If you're watching, please share this video. Please click like. Please comment, because that really helps it pop up in more people's feed. We have a big need for donations and volunteers and votes and long sign locations. But aside from all that, everything is great. So donations, votes, lawn sign locations, volunteers. Aside from that, we don't need a thing. So, all right. Have a great weekend. Hopefully I'll see some of you on the campaign trail. If you have not heard this morning's show, please listen to the podcast, redappleaudionetworks.com/Frank, or you can go to iTunes and just search The Other Side of Midnight. hit the subscribe button, and you'll automatically get new episodes. Hey, I think Carmine is here. Let me see if he wants to say hello. Hey, Carmine! Do you want to say hello? 1 minute. Oh, he needs a minute. He needs a minute. We'll see if he wants to go say hello to people. He's been busy on the campaign trail as well. He's doing his part. He really is. And we all are. Everybody with the last name Morano has pitched in incredibly. Absolutely incredibly. Let me see if Carmine wants to say hello. If not, we'll say goodbay. What's that phone number again? Are you talking about to call me on the radio, or if it's for the C Crane radio? Either way, the phone number to call me is 646-720-0635. I don't know who's going to answer that now. Probably no one. But if you want the C Crane radio, you can you can just go to ccraneradio.com, ccrane.com/Frank, and you could get it. You can get it on there. All right. Let me see. Let's check in what's going on in the world of Instagram. If there's anybody else commenting or watching, not that I see, but hopefully. Oh, hello, Carmine.
Hi, Daddy.
Yeah. Oh, did you have a good day at school?
Yes.
Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Oh, you have a cough? What did you do at school today?
I did everything.
You did everything? Oh,
Yes.
that's Ulysses S. Grant. He was. Oh, don't be careful, buddy. Be careful with that. He was the president. Do you know who the president now is? Careful, buddy. Do you know who the president now is?
What?
No, who's the president of the United States now?
I don't know.
You know. Who is it? Think who it is.
Donald Trump.
That's right. Very good. Do you remember who the president before him was?
I don't know.
Starts with a B.
I don't know.
Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember him? Yeah. Okay. Ulysses S. Grant won us the Civil War. He likes to smoke cigars. It's not good for us, though, right? Okay. Oh, you got to. What do you want to do? What do you want to do today?
I'm going to have a little snack.
Have a little snack? What kind of snack do you want?
I don't know.
Sheila says hi, Carmine. Say hi, Sheila.
I don't know that.
There you go, Sheila Nagengast. Say hi. She says hi, Carmine. And Leanne says hi, Carmine. She says you're a smart boy. Do you agree with that? Susan says she loves it when she hears you say, "I'm waking up." Can you say that?
No.
No, why not?
Daddy, I want you to shine your shoes.
You want me to shine my shoes? How about if you say I'm waking up, we'll shine my shoes.
I'm waking up.
Okay. All right. Let's shine my shoes. Okay. I'll tell you what. My shoes are upstairs in my bedroom. Go get them and we'll shine them, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I love you, buddy.
But Daddy,
Yeah.
let's get different shoes for you.
Get different shoes for me? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Carmine William Moreno. There he is. All right. Those of you, please like, comment, and share. I don't know if you could still send stars. I think they kind of disabled our page because from getting stars. But if you were going to send a star, send $10 to moranoforcouncil.com as a little tip. So. Oh, no, you can't. Look at these shoes that Carmine killed. You don't shine these shoes. They've got to be leather or something. These shoes don't shine.
Why?
They don't. I don't know. Hey, I'll tell you what. We can try to maybe just buff them a little bit. We'll get a cloth and buff them. You want to try that?
We can leave it like that.
You can what?
Let's leave it like that.
Leave it like that. Okay. All right.
So Dad, let's try
All right. I have a briefing with the Manhattan Institute. I don't know if it's okay that I said that. And then I have some campaign. All right. Let's shine my shoes. We can't shine these though, buddy. These don't shine. They don't glow. We can buff them. You want to try and buff them?
No, let's do something else.
Okay. This is where a good portion of our afternoon is. All right. Please check out the website, moranoforcouncil.com. Please listen to this morning's podcast at redappleaudionetworks.com/Frank. Please make a campaign contribution. And please vote. Please request a lawn sign. And it's really irksome when I make a left turn and I see a bunch of lawn signs for my opponent. Now, we got a lot of lawn signs ourselves out there, but I'm hearing there's some people being pressured to take down our lawn signs, which is not cool. So please be sure to like, comment, and share. Please be sure to volunteer. Again, you can help make calls wherever you are. You don't have to be in Staten Island. And please be sure to donate. I'll see you on the campaign trail.